Guys, Robbie here. Today we're going to be talking about how to construct a healthy meal, how to put this together so that you have a basic template you can always go to in your mind whenever you're trying to make something healthy for yourself. So, how do you construct a healthy meal? So, in general, our rule for how to construct a healthy meal is as follows. It involves three main elements which correspond pretty directly to the three main macronutrients. So, you want some form of quality protein in there, and we'll talk about what that means in just a second. You want some type of quality produce, usually vegetables, and we'll talk about fruits as well. But when we're talking about carbohydrates, really what we're talking about most of the time is going to be your vegetables, and some type of healthy fats. Now, again, you're going to notice that this maps on quite nicely to protein, carbs, and fat, the three main macronutrients. So you might be saying, how is that telling me anything if it's just those three main macronutrients? Well, we're going to talk about how you can single out the things that are the quality versions of all those things. There are lots of ways to get really bad carbs and bad fat and not as good protein, but to construct a healthy meal, you want quality protein, quality veggies, and healthy fat. So what do we mean by quality protein? We mean grass-fed, pasture-raised, organic meat, typically fish and seafood, eggs. That's quality protein from a nutrient quality perspective, from a nutrient density perspective. So beef, pork, chicken, fish and eggs, seafood, all of those types of things are going to be healthy types of protein. Can you get some protein from plants? Yes. It's very rarely complete protein, and it's usually not very well absorbed. So I wouldn't be looking to plants as your main protein source, although they can be healthy for other reasons. Which brings us to the next piece, which is quality vegetables. So these are going to be, things like broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, cucumbers, butternut squash, green beans, things like that. Ideally, if you can, organic. And then your healthy fats are going to be things like olive oil, avocados, olives, macadamia nuts, coconut oil, so on and so forth. So how do you actually construct this meal from these component pieces? So in general, there are going to be some variations here and there. In general, for most people, something like 4 to 8 ounces of protein in a meal is going to be a good place to start. This can go up depending on your training level, or it could go down depending on, if you're doing a ketogenic diet where you're being more moderate with protein. It can depend on a lot of different factors, but 4 to 8 ounces, which is a quarter pound to a half a pound of quality protein. Veggies, we don't limit the amount you can have. What we say though is, in general, you want to have at least one vegetable per meal, and preferably one non-starchy vegetable per meal. So things like chard or kale or spinach. It's okay to have starchy vegetables as well, like your sweet potatoes, white potatoes, plantains, technically a fruit, but we sort of count it as a starchy vegetable with your meal. But the truth is, we don't eat enough vegetables, and when I'm doing nutrition coaching with people, one of the things I will suggest is that they have at least one non-starchy vegetable at each and every meal. And yes, that includes breakfast too. And then healthy fats. So, again, olive oil or coconut oil. How do you incorporate these? Well, you can use a tablespoon or two of olive oil to drizzle over your veggies. You can use a tablespoon or two of coconut oil to saute your meat or to roast the veggies. You can have a handful of macadamia nuts. That's a good way to make up your meal. So for each meal, ideally, and this isn't going to happen all the time, but ideally you want some quality protein, some veggies, and some healthy fat. Now, to visualize this, if you had a plate, there's going to be basically plants and animals, and plants should actually be taking up the vast majority of your plate. There's going to be some animal products there too, but plants should be the vast majority of your plate. And the way you get the healthy fat in there is either the meat that you have prepared has some healthy fat in it, maybe it's some pasture-raised beef, or you've sauteed the meat, let's say in ghee or something like that, say sauteed scallops in ghee, which is clarified butter, or you've roasted your veggies in some oil like olive oil, or you've sauteed them, or you've drizzled some oil over the veggies. So that's how you construct a healthy meal. So quality protein, quality veggies, healthy fat. What are some other things that you can incorporate? Fruit, nuts and seeds, herbs and spices. We think all those things are healthy, but they should be considered condiments or additions to a meal rather than the main course. Fruit should never replace vegetables on your plate from a health perspective. So hopefully that gives you a sense of how to construct a healthy meal. Whenever you're constructing a healthy meal, think you want some quality protein, some quality carbohydrates in the form of vegetables, and some healthy fat. All right, guys, so hopefully that template helps you out. If you have any questions, please let us know. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.